Alright, so my biggest art struggle... Okay, there we go. My biggest art struggle would probably be a mix of 2 to 3 different things. Probably a mix of style, same face syndrome, and proportions, anatomy, and realism. I'll start with proportions, anatomy, and realism. I actually have a whole sketchbook set aside where I am trying to practice these types of art that I know I need work on, and just like a whole sketchbook where I practice things I know I need work on. Line art, proportions, anatomy, things like that. And I want to do a video on that sketchbook once I fill it up. But with realism, I consider myself to be pretty good, or decent, and or moderate at drawing still life. However, when it comes to drawing real people realistically, that's where I struggle the most. And I don't think that I'm that good at drawing people realistically. So that's where I struggle with realism. And I'm working on improving that. I've been working on improving that for the last year or so. So I've seen a little improvement, but not too much improvement. But I am working on it, so I'm working on that. And for proportions and anatomy, I'm just really bad at that, but I'm trying to take you guys' suggestions on how I can improve my proportions and my anatomies, along with suggestions that the internet has said, and watching a bunch of videos on improving the proportions and anatomy, and taking all the advice I've learned about practicing and improving proportions, anatomy, line art, and that sort of thing, putting it all together, writing it down in my notes, and trying all those tips to see what works best for me to help me improve my anatomy, because that is one of the most important things that you need to have down when it comes to going to an art school and stuff, which I do want to do at some point. And then as for style and same face syndrome, a lot of the time my art style has been linked with same face syndrome. So a lot of the times people tell me that my style has same face syndrome to it, and they tell me that I need to change my style, that it doesn't look right, and that it's just inaccurate. And with me, I find that I get emotionally attached to one specific style, and then I don't want to change that style, which is a really bad thing that you can do as an artist, is never wanting to change your style. But I tend to get emotionally attached to one specific style, and then thinking about drawing myoses and other styles makes it look weird or different. It makes it feel like a whole different character, which is what same face syndrome will do to your character. So I've decided that instead of changing myoses design so that it looks less like same face syndrome, I want to be like an animator. Animators, now I know this because I've seen a few documentaries and a few things, and I've heard personally from experience of animators on YouTube and things, they will draw their animations all in one style and draw the whole show all in one specific style that they're animating for, but they will also still have the ability to draw different styles with different head shapes and have proportions and do realism and all that other stuff that skilled artists can do. They can still do all that other stuff. Just for the show that they're working on, they draw in one specific style for the show. That's what I want to do. I want to have the skills and ability to draw with anatomy, proportions, different face shapes, drawing animals, and all that stuff, but still have this same style for my OCs. So it's not like I can't draw other shapes and proportions, but it's like I'd only have this style. However, in order to do that, I need to practice drawing proportions, anatomy, and different head shapes, so that I'm at a level where I can draw those things, but also still draw this style. If that makes sense. That's the kind of thing and or goal I'm working towards when I think about improving. So I'm not working to improve so that my whole entire art style changes and becomes something new, but working to improve to have those skills while still keeping to the style that I have. It's like I'll just have those skills stored up and I'll use them when needed. Like how squirrels store up food for the winter. They're not going to eat that food for the winter in the middle of summer. Well, Maybe they do, but they store up food in other case. I'm gonna store my artistic abilities. The next question, which I actually just got in a couple minutes ago, is would I like to do a collaboration? Yes, I would definitely do collaborations with people. However, the only thing is, if I did collaborations, which I think would be really fun to do on this account, or on my Instagram, or DeviantArt, which I'll put the link to it below, because I like to put the link to them if I'm going to bring them up. But anyways, I think it would be really fun. The only thing is, if I did a collaboration on any of my social medias, I wouldn't be able to send people the art pieces. I would have to like send it through DM or note or through otherwise, rather than mailing it to them, because I don't think I would be allowed to mail things to other people. I'm definitely pretty sure my mom would tell me I cannot mail it to other people. But I could definitely still do like art collaborations and things. There are definitely still ways to do it without mailing you the physical art piece. I know that's how a collaboration usually works. But I definitely like to try doing a collaboration where it doesn't completely just involve that at the moment. And maybe when I move out of the house and I get my own house or whatever, then I'll be able to mail art to people and stuff. That would be fun. But right now, I live under my mom's rules, and I'm probably not allowed to do that, because she usually doesn't trust people on the internet anyway. So, yeah. But yes, I would love to do collaborations with people. I would especially think it would be really fun if we did collaborations via YouTube videos. That would just be really fun. So, yes. Do you like anime? I am not the biggest fan of anime. However, there are three anime shows that I moderately like and used to be in the fandom of. However, I am not the biggest anime fan, and that's usually derivating from the fact that anime kind of turns me off, since everybody obsesses over anime 24/7, and they make it seem like the best animated form for cartoons ever, and there's like so much talk about anime that it just goes crazy, and then it just all goes over my head because I don't even want to pay knowledge to it at this point. So I am not the biggest fan of anime. However, I do really like the animes Fairytail. I believe I'm saying this anime name right, but I believe it's danganronpa. I think that's how you say it. It's either danganronpa or dragonronpa. I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce it, but that is the other one that I am into really, really well. And I am also decently into, I can't remember the name of the anime, but there was another anime that I saw like the first few episodes of, and I really liked it. I think it was Soul Eater. Yeah, I think it was like something like Soul Eater or something. It might have been that anime, or it might have been another one, but I'll put the name to all three of the animes in the description, because I probably butchered the names for most of them, or I probably got the name wrong, but I'll put the name to the three animes that I do like in the description below. And the last question that this one person asked me is, they asked me, can we be friends and help one another out? Yes, I would love to make friends. So if you ever want to be friends with me, and if you're ever wondering if I would be your friend or if you want to be friends with me, the answer is always yes, because a good percentage of why I started YouTube and social media as a whole was to make friends with people and make good lasting friendships with people online, so that I have people I can trust on and aren't just complete jerks on the internet, and I can have nice friends. That is why I started, to make friends with people, and that is still my goal, to make friends with people. Even if I have 100 friends and I can't even keep track of them all, I still want to be friends with everyone. I'm like Maple Pines. I want to be friends with everyone. I am like Maple Pines, and I want to be friends with everyone. So yes, if you ever want to be my friend, yes, we can be friends, and we can chat via Instagram through DM, or via DeviantArt through notes, or even just in the comments below we can chat if you want to be my friend. Anywhere you want to be my friend, I'm fine with being your friend, and we can do things like collaborations together, art trades, and other fun things if we're friends. And you don't even have to be into art to be my friend. We can talk fandoms, We can talk role-playing. We can talk anything, and I will be your friend. Well, as long as I'm also can relate to what we're talking about. Like, I'm not going to talk about things that I don't like with people who like those things. Because then we'd have differing opinions. And I don't really want us to have differing opinions. Well, I mean, we could have differing opinions about some things if we were friends, but, like, let's just say you really, really, really liked apples, and I really hated apples, and your whole entire Instagram account was about loving apples. I don't think that clash would work, but yeah. I mean, I think you get what I'm trying to say. So long as both of us can relate to each other, and so long as both of us can be nice to each other, then we can be friends. But for the record, I love apples. Apple pie is great. Like, give me apple pie. Find my house and send me apple pie. Alright, so that is 3 questions down and a few more to go. The next question is, what do you hate most about being an artist? I think the 2 things right now I'm starting to hate the most about being an artist, I don't know if there's 2 or 1, but the 2 things right now I'm starting to hate the most about being an artist is, I guess number 1 would be, people keep telling me my art style is anime, and my art style is not anime. The only thing about my art style that derivates anywhere close to anime is the head shape, which is just your average anime head shape. But my art style, I would definitely not call it anime, so that bothers me a lot when people look at my art style and go, it's anime, and I get really angry, because I can tell that they're only saying that to try and A, relate to me and my art style, B, they think I'm into anime and they're trying to relate to me, and C, they think they're being hip and cool and trying to relate to anime with me. Because they're all like, oh, I'm an adult, I know what anime is. That's nice anime art. And I'm just like, no, you're not. You don't know what anime is. That's not anime. So that bothers me about being an artist, that people keep telling me my style is anime. And I guess the other thing, like, overall in general, that bothers me about being an artist is that I, as an artist, spend at least a day, probably at least a day, 1 to 2 hours doing art a day, especially with YouTube videos that have to do with art, Instagram, posting art to Instagram. Like, I feel like I need to post at least 1 art piece a week to Instagram, and, you know, loads of other things. I spend a lot of time doing art, and that kind of makes me feel like I have less of a life. So sometimes I feel like my life will be taken away due to art. Not that I mind, because half of the time I don't have anything to do anyway, so art is a good time to fill up the free time where I don't have anything to do. But sometimes I feel like I'm doing art so much that I have no life outside of art, other than just art. So the other thing I don't like about being an artist is that sometimes it can make me feel like I don't have a life outside of art, and that I'm just chained to only doing art. But then other times I remember that I do things outside of art. Like, I go to art museums, I go to the science museum, the aquarium. Like, I go places with my family and friends, so I remember that I do things outside of art. But sometimes it'll just feel like all I ever do is art, and that'll just make me feel like I have no life. But then at the end of the day, in the grand scheme of things, I remember that usually I do things that don't relate to art. Like yesterday, I went out shopping, and I didn't do art there when I went out shopping. So I have to keep reminding myself that I do things outside of art. But sometimes it just feels like I don't. So that's kind of something I struggle with. Sometimes feeling like I have no life whatsoever outside of art. But then I have to remember I do. And it's only feeling like that because I'm spending a lot of time in my art at the moment. The next question is, what is your... So that's what I hate most about being an artist, is those few things. And then the next question is, what motivates you to keep trying? I would say that probably other artists are what motivate me to keep trying to do art. So when I look at other artists that are better than me, I instantly get motivated and have this need, like the gears inside me have turned on, and I just have this rapid fire need to one day become better than any artist that I think is better than me at the time. And that really motivates me to do art and improve, because I keep telling myself that if I improve now, my art will become better and people online will like my art more. People online will be proud of my art more. People online will look at my art and say that they wish to have art as good as mine, and I will be better than other artists. That's like what motivates me the most. The idea that I could become better than other artists, and the idea that people could look to my art and inspire to be as good an artist as me. Those two practices and ideas are really what motivate me to want to be a better artist, I would say, and what motivate me to want to keep trying and do better as an artist, even though that's a little like selfish, I guess, because I'm only doing it for the benefit of me, but hey, it motivates me, so whatever will motivate me to want to do better works for me. But then what motivates me in general to want to do art, rather than what motivates me to want to keep trying in art, I would probably say that what motivates me to get the idea for a lot of my art pieces, if we're talking about it like that, would probably be watching my favorite TV shows, like rewatching episodes from my favorite TV shows, or rewatching my favorite fandoms, or watching things to do with my fandoms. That really motivates me. It especially motivates me to want to do fan art and stuff like that. So that really motivates me, and it gets my creative juices flowing to think about different scenarios and ideas and think about characters that I could do fan art for. Role-playing also really motivates me to want to do art because it helps me think of new, different scenarios for my OCs. Like, usually when I don't know what else to do for my OCs, I'll think of a roleplay that I've done with them, and I'll draw out scenarios from roleplays I've done with my OCs in the past. So roleplays really help motivate me and my OCs. What else helps me motivate? What else helps motivate me? Listening to my favorite songs can really motivate me, because again, it helps me think of my OCs in different scenarios, and it just gives me like a happy feeling when I'm listening to my favorite songs. That really inspires me. Like, I'll get that really happy feeling inside that will really inspire me. And the last thing that really inspires me to do art, well, the last two things, would probably be looking at other artists on YouTube, and not on YouTube, but just looking at other artists online really inspires me. Looking at some of my favorite artists can really inspire me, and getting dressed in new, clean, fresh clothes and cleaning up my workstation really inspires me, because it makes me feel like a new, fresh, clean person with a new, fresh, clean workstation, ready to start all over again on a new, fresh, clean piece of paper with a new, fresh art idea. And I'm just in that new, fresh, and clean idea stage when I do that kind of stuff. So having a good mental health state, I guess, and not like a dirty, muggy, like wanting to slam my head on the wall kind of mental stage, can also really help me and inspire me with my art. Even though I'm not like a depressed person, so I don't have like a bad mental health stage like that sense, but just like bad, like kind of like headache like stage, where I'll feel like I have headaches and head cramps trying to think of art to do. That can be really inspiring. I always get the necklace wrong on mic, but anyways. The next question, moving on. The next question is, can you do a video where you show all of your OCs? Yes, I might do a video like that. The only reason I didn't consider making that video, well, I considered making that video, but the only reason I didn't make that video before, where I talk about all my OCs, and I do a sort of meet the OC type of video where I go over their bio, and I talk a little bit about them, and give them a backstory and a bio. Videos like that type of thing that you've probably seen before online. If you're into the whole OC thing, you've probably seen those type of videos before. They're generally called things like Meet the OC or whatever. The only reason I didn't consider as much to do a video like that is simply because I've already explained a lot of my OCs on my Instagram, but I know a lot of you won't want to look through my Instagram to find the bios for my OCs, and you won't want to read all those bios, and you'd rather just have me explaining their history and bio. in a video where you can just listen to me talk about their bio and their history, like that sort of thing, rather than having to find it on my Instagram. I know a lot of you would prefer that, and I know there are a lot of new followers and subscribers I've gotten in the past year or so that might not even know much about my OCs because they're new followers and subscribers. So yes, I will definitely do a video like that. It will probably come out sometime in the summer because I'll have more free time in the summer to do a video like that. And I'll do a Meet the OC type video sometime then. And if that's something you guys would be interested in, you can comment that down below. And I'm definitely highly considering it. The reason I wasn't considering it as much before is because I was just assuming a lot of people already knew about most of my OCs. But I have to remember that I've gotten a lot of new subscribers. So it might be helpful just to have those videos, especially for reference, if anyone needs, like, reference towards characters. So, yes. That is definitely a video that I am thinking about doing sometime this summer. And you guys can, like, also, if you want, comment OCs you'd like to see done for that video. Lastly, how do you draw in your art style? Well, I don't really know how to explain this, like, how do I draw in my art style? Really, it's kind of just like I draw your average anime head shape. I know I just said that my art style wasn't anime, because aside from the head shape, it's not anime. The head shape, though, I will not lie to say, is anime head shape. So you just draw, like, an anime head shape, and then you draw, like, this sort of body. Like, I don't really know how to answer this question, since I would, like, have to do a whole separate video where I explain how to draw in my art style. So if you want, like, a how-to video on how I draw in my art style, that is definitely something you can ask in the comments below, because I really can't explain this question without doing a whole video on that sort of thing where I show you exactly how I draw it. But I can kind of go into where I got the inspiration for my art style. Really, my art style, though again, I will say, it is not anime. It derives from anime, as my art teacher said. I will not lie to say it derives from anime, but I don't personally count it as anime style, because it's not full-blown anime. It's more like anime fused with Western animation style. But my style is a mix between the art style for Gravity Falls, my friend's art style, anime, and just cartoony, realistic, proportioned art style. It's a mix between all three of those things, and really that's what I did. I took all three of those elements that I listed, and I fused them together into one art style that is now my own art style. And it took me around a year to create the art style I have now, but it's the art style I have, so it's the art style I have now. And so, yeah, that is the art style I have, and it basically derives from those type of places. And really, like most artists, I just took my favorite things about my favorite art styles, and I fused them all together into one big Mod Podge of art styles that I really like. That's really what I did. I just went, oh, I like this, how this person draws noses. I'm going to draw my noses like that. Ooh, I like how this person colors. I'm going to color like that, etc., etc., until it all came together into one glued together Mod Podge of my own art style. Honestly, I won't lie to say that's what I did when I created my own art style. And yeah, those are all the questions that I got. And I just want to again thank all of you for 1,000 subscribers. And I am really blessed to have each and every one of you in all of my videos all of the time. I am, like, very blessed to have all of you, and I couldn't have asked for a better group of people to be my friends, and a better group of people to be subscribed to me specifically. So, I want to thank all of you. I want to thank all of you for that, and yeah, that is what?
What egg sandwich you want? The regular one?
Yes!
Okay, here's your pen. You have to be ready in a half hour.
Alright, sorry about that. Anyways, I'm not going to edit that out, because Lord knows I can't edit that out, but anyways, that is all the questions I got, and just accept that my mom made a cameo in this video. It's really just celebrate 1,000 subscribers, so Mother Cameo. Yo. Anyways, that is all, and I want to thank you all for following me, and if you're not already subscribed to me, if you would like